Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be covering the Beelzemon deck profile for the new Beelzemon Blast Mode and, of course, the related cards. Alright, so, as always, we'll start off with the babies. We're running 3 copies of the starter deck Pokemon and 2 copies of the BT2 Pokemon. Now, the starter deck Pokemon, on deletion, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. And the BT2 Pokemon, when attacking, trash the top card of your deck. You can already see what the theme of this deck is about. Trashing cards from the top of your deck. These guys are the best babies that will help you do that. And so following into that, we're obviously going to be running 3 copies of the BT2 Entmon, that on deletion, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. And then we're going to be running 3 copies of the new EX-02 Entmon, because when this card is trashed from the top of your deck by an effect other than itself, so like this other Entmon, you get to trash an additional 3 cards from the top of your deck. So basically, continuing that cascade of trashing card effects. And there are other cards in this deck that also have effects that activate when they're trashed from the top of your deck. Now, because you're just trashing things all willy-nilly, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the BT6 Entmon. That's very useful in recovering the Beelzemons that you need, because there are Beelzemons you want to get to your hands, specifically the BT2 Beelzemon, but we'll get to that. And then lastly, we'll be running 3 copies of the BT8 Digimon, because it just has a really good on-play effect that synergizes with the deck. You get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer card, because you want to be looking for the Iron Mako, and then you can trash one of the cards, which is in theme with whole trashing cards to the top of your deck. And then the rest of the cards go to the bottom of your deck in any order. Point being is you get to continue trashing cards, but you can also save a Tamer from being trashed. I also forgot to cover the EX-02 Entmon is the one that you want to hard play, which you can do just by paying its cost, but there's also the new Beelzemon effect that lets you play the Entmon for free. But essentially, this is the one that you want to play to your field and build up into your BT2 Beelzemon. Ideally, because when it's played, you get to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add 1 card with Beelzemon in its name and 1 Iron Mako from among them, and then place the rest of your deck in any order. Essentially, kind of like the Digimon, you get to reveal some cards, find the Tamer you need, the Iron Mako, as well as get that BT2 Beelzemon to your hand if it's in there. The rest of the cards, they can all go to the trash. The new EX-02 Beelzemon, the Blast Mode, send them to the trash. They have effects that trigger when they're trashed from the top of your deck. You want to get the BT2 Beelzemon to your hand, as well as the Iron Mako. Going into our level 4s, we're running 4 copies of Soulmon, because Soulmon has an inheritable effect on your turn. Once per turn, when a card is trashed from your deck, you gain a memory. So while you're trashing all these cards, especially if you can't get the trashing started right away and you have to hard build your way up, Soulmon, once you do start triggering the trashing effects, will help you gain extra memory. And then we're running 4 copies of the Beelzemon Scatter Mode for hand control. So you can't help it. Sometimes you end up drawing the cards in your hand that you don't want there. Particularly the Beelzemon Blast Mode, because the Iron Mako effect lets you play it, or lets you digivolve into it from the trash. You do not want Blast Mode in your hand, so you do need a little bit of hand control so you can get rid of cards you don't want. It also has draw 3, which is pretty good, so it's draw 3, trash 2. You can draw more cards that you need, trash the stuff you don't. And then we're running 2 copies of Digimon. Digimon has the inheritable effect when attacking, you may trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. It also has retaliation, so you can put it once you get on the field. It can help slow your opponent down from attacking with one of their bigger Digimon, because you can just crash it into it and get rid of it. And then our level 5s, we have 4 copies of the BT7 Antilamon. When digivolving, you can play 1 purple Tamer card with a play cost of 3 or less from your trash without paying its memory cost. I only put this in here because I am running a second Tamer that is 3 costs or less, and this will let you play it for free. And then I've got 4 copies of Skull Sadamon. One Digivolving, trash top 2 cards of your deck. obviously. Then return one card with the Demon Lord and its traits from your trash to your hand. This one will also let you recover the Beelzemon that you need. And then the inheritable effect, on your turn, once per turn, when cards are trashed from your deck, you gain 1 memory, just like Soulmon before. And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this deck here. So, Beelzemon, BT2, running 3 copies, then 2 copies of the new EX-02 Beelzemon, and 1 copy of Digimon as a cool little tech card for this deck. So the BT2 Beelzemon, as we know, lets you turbo in from one of your Entmons into Beelzemon for 4 costs, as long as you have at least 10 cards in your trash. Which, with all the deck trashing effects in this deck, that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen fast. Once you start triggering the trashing, next thing you know, things are cascading into others, and before you know it, you got 20-30 cards in your trash. So, super easy, not hard at all to get into. The EX-02 Beelzemon, when this card is trashed from your deck, you may play 1 Entmon from your trash without paying its memory cost. This lets you get into, if you don't have an Entmon on the field that you can turbo into a Beelzemon, this lets you recover any of your Entmons. I do recommend, if this one's in the trash, to recover this one, because it does not stop on-play effects, so this one will help you be able to continue digging for Beelzemon if you don't have it, as well as Iron Mako if you don't have it once you play it. And also, when you turbo it into Beelzemon, its inheritable effect gives Beelzemon an extra 3000 DP, meaning that your Beelzemon becomes 14k, which is a pretty big beat stick as it is, you know? And then the EX-02 Beelzemon has a when digivolving or when attacking effect, where you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck to delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon, and for every 10 cards in your trash, that level increases. So like I said, once things start rolling, it's easy to get 20 or 30 cards in the trash, so you're deleting, you know, level 5, level 6 even, if you can get 30 cards in your trash. So, very good effect to digivolve into. And then the Digimon, like I said, is a cool tech card. When digivolving, both players trash the top 5 cards of their deck. The on-deletion effect doesn't apply to this deck, letting you play a Gallantmon when it's deleted. It's the when digivolving effect that is key, because, like I said, if you're having problems triggering the initial trashing, and you end up devolving all the way into a level 6, if you can do it into Digimon will trash a lot of cards. 5 cards will absolutely trigger the cascade effect that you need if you haven't got to it already. But in my experience, it happens with something as simple as an Entmon or a missed memory boost. And then to wrap up the Digimon, we're running 2 copies of Blast Mode, because Blast Mode, as long as you're not unlucky enough to have it both copies end up in your security, like I said, once you start triggering all the cascading trashing effects, you end up with like 30 cards in your trash. Most of your deck ends up in the trash. Blast Mode will be there, and then you can get into them with Iron Mako. Now, Blast Mode does have an effect when it's trashed from your deck. Delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So, cool little disruption there as you're trashing cards. When digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So once you do get your Iron Mako and your BT2 Beelzemon on the field, or if you had to go the long way into the other Beelzemon, either way, once you get into Blast Mode, you're deleting all of the highest level Digimon. Even if it just hits 1, that's pretty dang good. And then on your turn, for every 10 cards in your trash, this Digimon gains security attack +1. And as I've said before, 20 to 30 cards end up in your trash, you're going to be doing 3 to 4 security checks with this guy. For Tamers, of course, we're running the Iron Mako, 2 copies, and I'm also running 2 copies of Alice McCoy. Because we're doing so much digging and trashing, I don't run that many copies of the Tamers. You could just run 4 copies of Iron Mako if you want. I do like the Alice McCoy because on your turn, once per turn, you can reduce the cost of digivolving from a level 5 to a level 6 by 3 just by deleting one of your Digimon. So you can delete an Entmon if you got it on the field. You can delete whatever you have on the field that isn't your level 5. That way you can go from level 5 to level 6 for basically free, because the EX-02 Beelzemon and the Digimon both digivolve for 3 costs, so they're free evolutions. or if you do go into the BT2 Beelzemon, it's a 1 cost. So I do like the Alice. It helps when things aren't going your way and you haven't been able to trigger all of the deck trashing effects. That's why I run her. You don't have to. You could just max out on your Iron Makos. And then lastly, to round off everything, our option cards. We have 2 copies of Corona Destroyer. Corona Destroyer is a 4-cost option card that lets you delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, but that level increases for every 10 cards in your deck. So it's just like the effect from the EX-02 Beelzemon when digivolving or when attacking, but you can trigger it with an option card. And if you've got a bunch of cards in trash, you could be deleting all the way up to level 6s. Then we got 2 copies of Mist Memory Boost. Mist Memory Boost is a great card for this. All the Memory Boost cards are great options for decks, but this one trashes the top 2 cards of your deck, and you get to draw. Plus, you have the Memory Boost later on. This card, I've opened several games with this card in hand, and it has triggered the cascading of deletion effects or other effects from like Beelzemon and Blast Mode and Corona Destroyer going to the trash. Corona Destroyer, you gain a memory when it gets trashed from the top of your deck. So this thing has triggered like it's triggered the entire effect I'm looking for, and has helped me get into everything I need pretty quickly. So it's a damn good card. Of course, we're running a purple deck, so we're going to have 2 copies of Jack Raid, gain 1 memory for every 10 cards in your trash. And then I'm running 2 copies of Demonic Disaster. I was originally running 2 copies of the Fist of the Beast King. It's a blue option card, but it works with Beelzemon and unsuspends your Beelzemon. It's a 2 cost, which isn't that bad, but a lot of times you don't have an extra 2 memory. And Demonic Disaster lets you delete one of your Digimon to unsuspend one of your purple Digimon. So it's 1 cost. It does the same effect as the Fist of the Beast King, and I just felt like it was a bit more consistent, especially if you're already in Blast Mode and you're swinging for 3 or 4 security checks. Being able to unsuspend and keep attacking obviously is going to help you win the game. And then Demonic Disaster has a security effect that you may play 1 level 3 purple Digimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. The on-play effects don't activate. So this does help you get back out one of your level 3s if you need to. Alright, so let's take a look at how this deck ideally would run. So ideally, I mean, you have either or Pokemon, doesn't really matter. I do recommend this Pokemon if you're going to be digivolving into this on deletion Entmon, because now you're trashing 5 cards in total. But if you're not getting into this Entmon and you happen to have this Pokemon, the BT2 Pokemon works great with any of the other cards. You want to hard play the Entmon, so you can either hard play it by memory, by paying the memory cost, or if you happen to trigger one of the EX-02 Beelzemon to be deleted from the top of your deck, and this is in your trash, absolutely play it for free. It is your best option from this card. Once you've hard played this guy, you hopefully are getting an Iron Mako in hand. You want to play the Iron Mako. Once you have a bunch of cards in your trash, at least 10, you'll turbo into Beelzemon from BT2 for 4 cost. And then if it's still your turn, great. If you've got at least 4 memory to do that, that's awesome. If you don't, next turn, when you attack with this Beelzemon, then you'll activate Iron Mako. When you do that, Iron Mako will continue trashing cards. Will trash 1 card from the top of your deck to continue that whole thing going on. Because even if you are able to get into Beelzemon BT2 and you do have Blast Mode in the trash and you're at like 10, 12 cards or whatever, the more cards you get in the trash, the more powerful Blast Mode is going to be. So you want to continue trashing cards. It's not going to be unheard of. I finished almost all my matches with like 2 or 3 cards left in my deck. Once you've attacked with Beelzemon, you can trigger Iron Mako to digivolve into Blast Mode for 3 costs, and now you're exactly where you want to be. That's it. That's all this deck is. That is what you're working towards. Everything else, all the trashing effects, those are to get to this point. Entmon, turbo to BT2 Beelzemon, and then into Blast Mode with Iron Mako. I mean, you can still trigger Iron Mako off of a hard built level 6 and still get into Blast Mode if it's in the trash. but this is what you want because this will get you there fastest and cheapest. With all the deck trashing effects, your blast mode will be clearing security checks like crazy. Alright guys, so that's the Beelzemon EX-02 blast mode deck profile. I actually have a lot of fun playing this deck. It is actually one of this one, and you know, next to like my Machinedramon deck, this is like one of the most fun decks I've built and played in a while. Once you start popping off, it's satisfying to see cards hit the trash, and see more cards hit the trash because of Entmon, or see Chrono Destroyer hit the trash, and you're like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and delete your level 4 because I got 15 cards in the trash. You know, when your opponent was trying to build that Digimon up. It's fun getting into blast mode and just wiping the board of their big Digimon. It's a fun deck to play, and it doesn't. I enjoy decks that don't play the traditional format. They're not, you know, oh, take your level 3, build him into a 4, then a 5, then a 6, and then maybe a 7, and swing at your opponent. I like decks that play differently. Like Machinedramon, drop a level 6, then you shove some cards underneath it, and you got this, you know, beastly monster to fight with. Beelzemon, Entmon to Beelzemon to blast mode, 7 costs, and now you're beating down your opponent with 4 security checks because you trash hacked your deck. You know, so it's pretty awesome. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoy the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bells. It really helps out when you do like the video, if you can share it to people you know that are interested in TCG. All of it's a big help to me. I want to give a shout out to my Patreon members. Those guys fucking rock. Their contribution means the world. Is going above and beyond of just watching the videos. It's more than I could ask for. And as we grow this channel and we grow our Patreon members, we can start doing bigger and better and cooler things. I got tons of stuff down the line. You like the TCG, the Digimon TCG, and you need some gear, I got Playmats available. I've got custom metal memory counters for my Patreon members. I'm working on custom dice. I got a buddy with a 3D printer. We're working on designing deck boxes. So I got things in the works. And the more you guys support the channel, the more you guys support what we're doing here, just the faster we can get this stuff out. I can make new playmat designs. I can create new items. I'm gonna start hosting Digimon tournaments where you can win free playmats. I'm gonna start building. I'm gonna start making custom special packs where with much higher, much better pull rates than existing packs. They'll be given away as prizes. I got all sorts of stuff and ideas in the works. So come along for the journey. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on all the different things I do. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up with like news content, see awesome digi art, see translations and new cards, as well as be alerted anytime I do something new. You can follow me over on TikTok, where I post obviously quick little 3-minute or less videos for deck profiles, new formats, news information. Pretty soon I'm gonna get my shit together and we'll start doing live videos, doing unboxings. If I can hit 1,000 followers over on TikTok, I can do live videos over there of unboxings. So come along for the ride, guys. We're building up. We're gonna make this a big thing. Let me know your thoughts, any decks you're looking forward to, any ideas you might have. Drop those down in the comment section. And if you haven't already, check out my Discord. There's a bunch of great guys over there right now. We do, you know, we talk Digimon TCG, we talk Digimon content. There's, you know, deck building areas and like rulings question areas. And there are open tables to play webcam matches against your friends or anybody. It's where I'm going to be hosting tournaments in the future. And I have a custom built Digimon RPG game in the Discord server. It's in a very rough early stages. But you can get your own partner. You can raise it. It's got stats. Eventually, we'll be doing battling. It's going to be fleshed out into a full-fledged RPG game. Eventually. You know, it takes time to code these things, and it takes money. But slowly but surely, we are building a custom one-of-a-kind Digimon RPG game in the Discord server. So if you want to check it out, you want to be a part of that, especially early on, I'm taking ideas and suggestions and need help with bug fixes and stuff like that. So pop over into my Discord. Links to everything are in the description. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. As always, stay safe, stay amazing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!